Hey everybody, it's GeForce41 here with another PGA Tour 2K25 golf course playthrough video. This is also a golf course design tutorial video because it's my course. Why do I play through my own courses? To help you with your design. I help you think through your design by telling you what I'm thinking when I'm designing the course. I try to do that when I'm playing through other people's videos, but I don't know, other people's courses, but I don't know what they're thinking. So this is my Grasmhor. And this is inspired by the Renaissance Club, Scotland. So it's a modern links. The basic kind of layout and routing of Renaissance, but with my own take on it. And so some of the holes are similar, but not all. And I have that dramatic coastline. You'll see 7, 8, 9, 10, which came out really well. And so this is a really fun course. Grasmhor is, I believe, Scotch Gaelic for graceful, which is dedicated to my mom, who passed away just before I made this. Her name was Grace, so I decided to call it graceful. And so that's it. That's the quick story. Fun course. It's one of my better received courses, and it is now out on PGA Tour 2K25. So let's have a go at it. First hole, very similar to Renaissance Club. Downhill bender around the curve. You see some trees. What I think is cool about Renaissance Club is there's some kind of trees and pines and things like that. It starts up by the clubhouse and goes down to the water. And it's on the same piece of land as a couple other courses. I believe Muirfield is around the corner. And what's the other one I'm missing? There's another one real close to it. And I should have done my research before I started recording, but I did not. There is Cyber Jack. Yes, I made my guy look like Jack for fun. Not try to look like myself. Because, you know, with my dad bod and balding head, just doesn't work anymore. Why do I make the guy look like myself? Who cares? Okay. Downhill, little wind, this is going to work. So I replanted the course. I mean, I regrassed this whole thing. It took me 2 weeks to change the grasses, but I wanted to use those new grasses. There's a lot of grass, right? And by 2 weeks, I don't mean I was doing it every day, all day. I just mean I can only do planting like for a half hour at a time. I can't sit there for 3 hours and plant. As much as I love this designer, no thanks. So I do it in increments, and it just took me forever. Because honestly, just putting grass in is so boring. But I wanted that look, so you'll see it came out real good. So I played around with the cameras. This one came out pretty good. You can see how the course goes down to the water, right? Okay, so now the unique thing about this routing is it goes down and then back up to the clubhouse. So 2 goes right back up towards the clubhouse. That's what happens in the real course in Renaissance Club. And so they've changed that routing so many times. It hosts the Scottish Open. They've played around with the routing a little bit. So this was the routing when I was doing it in 2020. Up the hill. This is always a little bit of a challenge here. I'm thinking 6 in the face, 11 up. Do I want a little bit more? I think we want a little bit more, and maybe we'll do the choke down. So I'm enjoying this choked approach option to help with your distance control. That's a very realistic ad, right? There you go. Look at that. So you can see some of the grasses I've added. Or changed, I should say. Too high. But that's very realistic in a way any good golfer is going to control their distance. Just choke down on the club a little bit, right? So that's 7. Wanted to put a camera in there. All right, so 3, this is all sorts of decisions going on. It's basically a lion's mouth up here, which says, all right, which side do I want to be on? Because you don't want to be going across that bunker. So that says to me you want to be over here, but you've got this forced carry over these bunkers. Pretty good option with the wind at your back. You're now in 15 feet, right? If it's on the other side, you kind of want to be down here somewhere. But so think of the hole, if the location was on the left side, you'd want to be here, but you got that bunker to contend with. So maybe you go over here, or maybe you do a 3-wood. So that's it. Again, it's just I want you to make a decision. Here, not much of a decision, given it's the right side, and we've got the wind. So you want to hit driver down the right side. And did I get enough? I did. It's going to trickle in there. And that's fine. So the funny thing is I made this course. It's not a RCR by any means. And I wanted to make sure I had enough bunkers to be, you know, more of a traditional Scottish links. And I had the exact amount of bunkers as Renaissance Club does. I didn't count them beforehand. I just kind of went by feel and added them up and had the exact same number of bunkers. I forget how many it was. Somewhere around 60, I want to say. So these can be tricky little strategic holes. There you go. Some folks don't do them right. The whole idea is to make a decision on the drive, which side of the fairway do you want to be on. So here's the first par 5. This is where I differ from the course. You know, I kind of did my own thing. I think there's a par 3 down here or something. But I wanted to get this shot, literally, the picture of going to the water. I wanted to introduce the concept of the water in the visual sooner rather than later, because the first few holes are inland. So you're saying, well, how the hell is this a links course? Well, this gives you a taste of what's to come. You know, a little bit from the tee shot here, as you can see the island way out in the water, and then from the approach and when you're on that green, because that green is the high point of the course. So again, this is something to think about when you're designing your courses. Think of the views that you want to create. Where's the high point of the course? What view do you want to have there? Right? So, you know, a lot of people don't think of these things. Plan this out ahead of time if you really want to make an impact. Strategically, the whole is, can you carry this thing? 26 down, 6 miles an hour, I think that's fine. You want to be as far left as you can to have that shot into the green from the proper angle. With the wind, you don't want those bunkers on the far right to come into play. And now you've got a bit of an uphill shot. Again, it's almost a little bit of a infinity green, right? Pretty shot, literally. What do you want to do? I got uphill, just a smidge into the winds. I don't want, it's going to be too much club. I think I just want to give this a little bit of de-loft and run to it. Again, these small little variables, right? Again, this is another course that you can, it's going to be pretty good. Set up any way you want. And that's what I try to design for. If you want to do this up and make it a little tougher, you can. I don't want to make the courses hard. I want to make them interesting. And I want to set them up so the scheduler can do whatever they want with it. This is greens are running at 157. You want some roll. You want a links course to be firm and fast. And you want those rolls on the green to come into play. Said on my last video, when you're designing the courses, you don't want the greens to be slow just to make the putting easy. That's going to affect the roll on the greens too on your approach play. So you got to think about the trade-off there, okay? And that's going to be pretty good. So here you get the visuals of the full course. I'm actually glad that didn't go in, believe it or not, because now I can kind of show you a little bit what I mean. Now you get a shot of the full course and everything in front of you, right? It opens up here because the first few holes are closed in. And you'll see on 5 kind of the same thing a little bit. Tap in, bird. There you can see my artistry with the camera work. It's still a little bumpy. I got to figure it out a little bit more. So you can see this is inland too. Now this is going back up to the clubhouse. That's what happens in the row course. It's like 1 goes down, 2 goes back, 3 goes down, 4 goes across, 5 goes back up to the clubhouse. Very unique that you see 1, 2, 2 and 5 going back at the clubhouse like that. A lot of links courses are out and in, or a lot of courses are out and in. I regrassed this whole goddamn thing. And all the stuff around here. Now, we're getting a little bit more juice off the tee in this game. This carries a little challenging in previous versions. I might have pulled the tee back, but I thought it was a little too hard to carry. So with the wind in your face, that's going to be a tough carry. Because it's a little bit, even though it's downhill, those bunkers are elevated a bit. But it's not going to be a problem the way I'm hitting it now. Now the problem is that everything rolls off to the side, and now you get a funky angle in, right? Up the hill a little bit. It's a very small green. angled. And you can see it going right up to the clubhouse. Ooh, interesting feature, but unique, right? Keep the routings interesting. Be creative. Again, I didn't create this routing. I just use it as inspiration. And then you go out to the side and around the clubhouse and start to go out towards the water. And that's indeed the 6 hole. Some BTs coming up good there. I got the signs in there with the holes. That's the driving range behind me across the street. And yeah, because this is more of a traditional hole. You got some big old bunkers right there. I made this kind of long. You want to vary up the holes and length. This is displayed up to 240 to a back pin. So it's the long 3 on the course, and it's heading right out to the water. So again, a little bit more of an infinity. If you miss the screen, you're going to have some challenging up and downs. Just kind of throw it up there, let it roll to the hole. Going to help you get in there. And you don't want to do much. You just kind of want to throw it on the front of the screen. So that angle. Simple explanation of a dam, but if you watch my Taconic State Park Red video, you got a little bit better, more thorough explanation. But there you can just see how the green just takes everything down. And it's basically going all one direction. So you're just going to have big sweeping putts where it's your judgment and your read of the green is what's being tested. There you go. So fun holes. So hopefully that one works a little bit better than the mess I had in there the first time. The last par 5. This one's a little bit harder to reach. It plays almost 600 yards, but it got a little bit of wind. So you got a bunker in your way here in the fairway. Then you got a series of 2 bunkers out there to deal with if the wind's at your back, which might drive people crazy. But do you want a real experience or not, folks? Of course, you want to be more right than left, so it's a little hard on this one, and the green's kind of small. So it's very hard to hit this one into unless you hit a bomb and the wind's at your back. So here, it's not even going to be worth it because I got the wind in my face.